Hi everyone, I'm Jessica, a career and technical education teacher in Texas, and I am also a graduate student in learning technologies at the University of North Texas. Today we are going to be looking at my course called Designing with NotebookLM. I created it to equip educators and training professionals with practical strategies to use NotebookLM as a reliable source-based partner for planning, reflection, and performance-focused design. Let's take a look at Module 1. This module goes over what makes NotebookLM unique, how it's different from a general large language model when it's the right tool for intentional evidence-based work. Here is a chart that compares and contrasts NotebookLM with a general LLM, such as ChatGPT or Google Gemini. Right? They can both do all of these things, but NotebookLM is different because it works only from uploaded sources and it provides citations from your own materials. It's ideal for curriculum research, policy analysis. It has strong alignment to specific goals, and there's a reduced risk of unrelated or broad outputs. General LLMs are trained on broad data. They generate responses from large-scale patterns. They're strong for creative ideation. They have a more wide-ranging knowledge base. They're more flexible, but they also may produce more generalized responses. Here is our NotebookLM workflow that we will go through as we go through the course. So first is defining your goal, gathering your sources, creating the notebook, asking a focused prompt, refining and iterating, reviewing and verifying, and then extending the learning with NotebookLM Studio. Here are some use cases for NotebookLM: differentiation and student support, professional learning and corporate training, and also K through 12 lesson planning. Right, in the next module, we are going to learn how to build our notebook. We need to have clear goals to produce aligned outputs. The structure starts with backwards design, which is where you are starting with your instructional outcome and then narrowing it down so that you can get the right output. So start with your goal. You're going to curate your sources, organize your sources, configure the chat, and then you should have your aligned output. This is a video I made on how to set up the notebook. I based it on my PHS Lesson Planning Assistant, and for most of this course, I used a textiles unit. That's one of the last units we do in the school year, and so I use that for a lot of my examples. If you want to take a look at my notebook, it's here. Here's all the sources that I uploaded. Here is the configure chat, which is where you can do a custom version and you can give it a role. You can tell it specifically what you want. A lot of things in here are what my principal also wanted, and so it made it easy for me to have my lesson plan structured this way because my principal wants a very specific kind of things kept in our lesson plans. And then once you upload your materials, it gives you like an overview of all your materials here, and then you can start asking prompts. Week of lesson about textiles, right? And then I actually made this a more specific prompt, which I used as an example in my video. So that was kind of going over module 2 and 3, which is where you upload your materials or sources, you configure your chat, right? And then you also start prompting and then refine your prompts. You can also uncheck different sources that you may not want to use at that time or add sources for specific lessons or units if you want to. So Go back to Module 2. Right, there's a notebook setup planner here that you can download before you start your own notebook, just to make sure you know what you're going to put in it, or this will just take you to NotebookLM to start creating your notebook. In Module 3, this is all about prompting. It explains what a prompt is, why they matter. Here's some examples of strong versus weak prompts and why. Here's one for high school art, and then here's one for instructional design. As you can see, the weak prompts are very general and not specific. You will get a stronger output from AI if you have a strong prompt that specifically lays out what you want. Here I go over how to write a prompt in NotebookLM. I also give the same prompt to Google Gemini, and you can watch the video and see that the outputs are very different because Google Gemini is drawing from the entire web, where NotebookLM is drawing from my curated sources over here, and then so the output is very different. The last module is Module 4. Right, we review the NotebookLM workflow again. We are now at the end where we can extend the learning with NotebookLM Studio. It's the production layer of NotebookLM. The core notebook environment focuses on organizing, grounding, and refining information from the sources. Studio extends that work into learner-facing outputs. So it will do audio overviews, like a podcast version of your information, video overviews, flashcards, infographics, quizzes, slide decks. So it can produce all of these in a matter of minutes. So what used to take, hours possibly to create, it will make it for you in minutes. Here is my video demo over some of the different studio tools. This was a slide deck that I actually created based on 7 steps of laundry that turned out really well. And then in the video, I also go over the quiz function, the infographic section, and the audio overview or podcast. This brings us to the end of the course. And then down here, you can also continue exploring. Ideas in the Wild is a page that I have for social media. So there's some social media links. There is also a place where people that visit the website can contribute their own AI idea to be featured on the page. And there's also a blog. This is learning design resources, where different types of AI tools and programs are linked. If you click, it'll take you to that website, and then there's a short description of what the tool does. And then we also have our research framework, which explains how the course was built on research about effective professional learning, instructional design, online course development, and responsible use of AI. So as I build the AI Ideas Lab and build these courses, I'm also trying to think of the best ways to present the information and also get teachers and instructional designers to use AI in an ethical way so that the outputs can be trusted and people understand how the AI works and use it in the correct ways, which is supporting human design and learning, but not completely replacing it. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about my Designing with NotebookLM course, and I hope you head over to my AI Ideas Lab at some point and check out my other course and other upcoming resources that I'm going to put there. Thank you.